Hey yo, what up guys? So I've just got my hands on the new 6 plus Blackbeard from the KIZUNA. We are taking him to the PKA level 150 versus Dorian Brogy here in the background while I'm talking about his super evolution. I've been seeing a lot of them posting about the 6 plus on social media, calling him trash, not enough, or whatever. But as the title suggests, I disagree with all of that. He was actually unusable, and now I think he has the potential to be used almost every month. Keyword here, potential. People have high hopes or high expectations from these sick buses. They will never give them enough buffs to be able to compete with the kit of a newly released unit. The thing to hope for from these six buses is always for them to be useful in at least one or two game modes, or receive a unique effect that not a lot of units have that makes you resort to using them now and again. Like for example, the 6 plus Rayleigh. He is a monster in treasure map and is used occasionally on Kizuna, but you would never bring him to a PvP team. He gives pretty good effects and going through defensive effects, an attack and orb boost with only one special. That's what makes him great in treasure map. Well, this is the case for this Blackbeard. Potentially, as I said, he received two key buffs that gives me hope for him to be useful in the future and long term. Those two things are his special and his PvP kit. More specifically, his Assault Rumble. His special, which is the reason why we are using him in this PKA team versus Dorian Brogy 150. The special went from being absolutely useless to now giving a 1.4 times chain buff for 3 turns and extending any orb or attack buff by 2 turns and buffing those orbs and attack buffs by 0.5 if you have an additional 3 Blackbeard pirates, Worst Generation, or 4 Emperor units in your team, which is a great uh, set of tags that is easily fulfilled if you want to. There is plenty of regeneration or 4 emperors or black beard pirates that are going to be useful in the future. The extension of the orb and attack buffs by 2 turns alone are a good reason to bring him in your teams, and why I think he's going to be seeing a lot of more play or some play in terms of long term outside of his boosted period. In this age of intimidation and interruption, he's going to come in handy plenty of times. In this PKA, we use him on stage 4 to extend the huge orb and attack boost that we get from Saturn and Venus Joro, and take it to the last stage because of the intimidation. As strong as these 5 elders are, they crumble once they face intimidation, despair, or special bind. So this 6 plus can be used to help your team from time to time when you face these debuffs like intimidation or interrupt. Outside of his special, his switch effect and super switch effect are pretty good. They give a nice orb buff that can come in handy in mini stages or while doing your co-op missions. If you're using a team that uses powerhouse, inch powerhouse or inch driven, you can use him and he can give you a nice buff to get through the stages. The downside is that it clashes with his special that allows you to stay in dual form for up to 8 turns, which makes it impossible to use his switch effect for the rest of the adventure if you decide to use his special early on. His caption isn't bad either, but still not great. In his tremor form, which is the Whitebeard Devil Fruit form, uh, the 10% HP cut is pretty nice. It goes through normal attacks only, but now it's almost obsolete because of the new Gray Shield that makes the bosses immune to HP cuts. The only time we got to use him was in a Super Boss Kizuna to do some HP cuts, but they had to ruin the fun and add that shield to prevent us from doing that anymore. Um, I like that he reduces the switch effects of int and driven and powerhouse units. It's also cool that he reduces his own switch and special CD when he takes damage in his darkness form as a captain, but it's not good enough to bring him as captain. As optimistic as I am about this guy, I'm not that delusional. The second main thing why I believe this guy is going to be useful long term is, as I said earlier, his PvP kit. He has the potential of seeing use almost every month on Assault Rumble, which has become a big part of our monthly cycle, which gives pretty good rewards if you do well in it. I'm sure a lot of people or a lot of you notice that every time we have a side boss in Assault Rumble, we have issue with damage, and every time we have a side boss, we have to bring a dex team or a strength team because they're more solid and they do more damage than an int team. There isn't a lot of good damage dealers for int when it comes to driven and striker, outside of the new PvP rare recruit Lilith and a few other characters like Razer Crew or I can't even think of more than those two that do more damage. Well, this Blackbeard gives a pretty solid option now. He deals 3 times his attack to basically more enemies, all of the enemies in a large radiant range. Inflicts 7 attack down and speed for 20 seconds, and inflicts 4 defense down to all enemies for 20 seconds, and also uh, has a 100% chance of inflicting action bind for 2 enemies for 10 seconds, which is pretty decent. And during, on top of that, during Assault Rumble, which is like the main reason why I believe he's going to be useful long term in Assault Rumble, is that he deals 3 times his attack to 3 enemies that are powerhouse or cerebral, on top of the initial three times his attack and damage. This double 3 times attack to enemies combined with the half stats from Int Yamato, Katakuri Big Mom, Avaro Pizarro, or Pika is going to enable him to do some serious damage and give us some good scores finally for in teams. Especially in Assault Rumble, where we fight 3 targets max and where we can land half stats more reliably. His Rumble passive is nothing special. He applies to enemies level 7 attack and HP for Driven and Powerhouse, which is okay. If only I wish they added the int there too, but it's okay. And also inflicts level 7 speed down to all enemies. And if you have 4 or more Blackbeard pirates on the crew, it reduces enemies' attack by 5 and their special CT by 3. And also during Assault Rumble, he inflicts them with level 4 defense down to Powerhouse and Cerebral again, which is good because his damage doesn't go through defense. You don't even need to bring 4 or more Blackbeard pirates on your crew because it only enables you to apply debuffs to the team. It doesn't really give you any offensive advantage, and you mainly bring this Blackbeard for the damage output he can put out. So even that restriction is not going to be an issue for you in Assault Rumble. When it comes to normal PvP, I would not advise you taking this guy into normal PvP unless you're a new player and have no other option than this guy. You're probably better off bringing the versus Blackbeard. He's going to be more solid and more reliable, and he's going to be a good debuffer for other damage dealers to do more damage. Overall, this is a solid 6+ in my opinion. I see what they're trying to do with this guy, making him an Assault Rumble unit mainly. It looks promising, but only time will tell if these buffs are going to be enough for him. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.